Hello, good day. Hello, good day, everybody. You're welcome to this week's FX Outlook for the 28th November to 2nd of December 2022 with Great White FX. So, without taking so much of your time, let's get down to what we have for the news. So, as always, we're going to start with the economic calendar. So, looking at the economic calendar, we have high impact US dollar news coming out this week. As we can see, we have non-farm payroll on Friday as going to be a major driver. Then we have non-farm employment change on Wednesday and some other high impact news events. So this is what we basically have going into the new week, with the FOMC likely to be the major driver. So without taking so much of the time, we're going to start with the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, looking at the dollar index from we're going to start with the NASDAQ. I apologize. We're going to start with NASDAQ. So looking at NASDAQ, on the weekly outlook, NASDAQ is still tilted slightly to the downside. We have this break to the downside on this point. If we move into the daily structure, we have a bullish break of structure here. We notice price has been sitting above that area. And looking at the look back period, this is the high for the last for 20, 40, and 60-day period. And if we look to the left, price is sitting within this bearish order block on the daily. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, this is the dealing range for now, this high to this low. So as long as price stays inside here, it might move in any direction. A break below and a close back inside might signal, because if you look at this, this is an impulse. So this might be a kind of a corrective move before a continuation, probably to the upside. So for the NASDAQ, as long as price stays above this, all looks like equal lows, there is a possibility it may either sit buy side to the upside. Because that's the way I'm looking at it. Price may retrace a bit. If we look at this, price may retrace a bit. There is a fair value gap here on the far between these points. That's here. We have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap here. Then we have this and this. So these are points where price might find, if price finds support structure in here, then there is a greater possibility that we may see price run up in here. But should price move below this level, there are two things that you need to watch out for. Something like this, a continuation, or something like this, and you move back up to the downside. Because we have equal lows there. These are basically equal lows. So there's a high possibility that it may attract price. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. Looking at the dollar index, the dollar index still is looking a bit tilted to the downside. It's still looking a bit tilted to the downside. I have a feeling they may want to come for this low, which is sitting inside this bullish order block, which was used to cause this rally. So buying pressure may come in if price comes in here and they start long opportunities. If not, this pair is looking like it may try to sweep this low. But going into the 4-hour, if we go into the 4-hour, we have this break to the upside, but price is sitting above this low. So if price doesn't spike this low at 105.63, if price doesn't do something like this, doesn't go below here and give something like this, you might see this point as this one. If price moves down starting on Monday, Or you may see price rally like this, something like this, then come down to sweep this level. So these are the basic scenarios I'm looking at. Because moreover, if you look at price, it seems to be ranging. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the Euro USD. Looking at the Euro USD, looking at the Euro USD, looking at the Euro USD on the, we have a bullish, what looks like slightly bullish move on the weekly setup. Price, we have a break here. We have a bullish break here on the weekly time frame. But if we look to the left, price is within this last up candle before this down move. That's where we have price on the weekly. But we'll go into the daily time frame. We have a new high here and we have a lower high here. So there exists the possibility, then coupled with the location of price, there exists the possibility that going into the new week, we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation back to the upside. Because if you look at price has not broken significantly to the downside yet. It's still making new highs and higher lows. So this technically is still bullish. So we might see a little bit of a corrective move and then a continuation back to the upside on the Euro USD. So the next way we're going to be looking at is pound dollar, that's GBPUSD. The GBPUSD clearly is still tilted to the upside, but if you look at it on the weekly, it's within this structure point here. Last up candle before this massive drop. That's where we have price at the moment. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, we still have price at that level. You need to take cognizance of this fair value gap here. That's this point to this point here. That's here. This looks like what ICT will call a balanced price range from this point to this point. One candle down, one candle up. So if you move that into the future, you have that here. You have that here. So as long as price stays above, basically above this zone, it may continue to the upside. But should price do something like this, come in here, get rejected here, then it may go to this level. If this level fails to act as support, then you might see something like this. But for now, this pair is still bullish. So dips might be an opportunity for a long position as we have a bullish break above this high. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold, I can't basically give a definite outlook on gold, but I have a feeling we might see a bullish run on this pair going into the new week. So let's break it down a bit. So we have a break above it. That's bullish in and of itself, and we have this price has rejected all this bullish order block. Bearish order block on the daily. See price reacted from there. Not much down movement. Got support within this bullish fair value gap. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see we have a low, we have a high, this and this. So we have a bullish setup here on the 4-hour. So there exists a possibility that should this retrace, it might be an opportunity for long position. So if we look at this is what we have. I basically will say as long as price is above 1747.76, it might still move to the upside. So if it fails here, this is your next opportunity for a long, because with this, as long as this low here at 1727.49 is still intact, the 4 hours still has a bullish setup to the upside. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is EURGBP. And the EURGBP has been weak since last week. It dropped heavily. But we look at where price is now from the weekly time frame. It's at a critical level. Although from the weekly price closed bearish, but it didn't close below this level here, this body of this candles here. It didn't close below it. As reason for concern, because if you look at gold has something like this before it took off. Let me see if I can find out where gold had that setup. Network seems to be having a bit of a challenge. It's raining at my end, so that's like giving my network a bit. So if you look at gold, this is what I was talking about in gold. You see something like this. Now, if we go to the EURGBP, the EURGBP is posting also something like that. So when you start, it's the same setup, almost the same setup here, as you can see. So this is my view going into the new week. I believe they may try to sweep liquidity here. If they sweep it and it gives a bullish formation, then that may start a very strong corrective move. Because if we look at price, we have this low is equal almost to this. Then if you look to the further left again, I think there's another low somewhere here. There's another low. So there exists the possibility. So this is what you'll be waiting for. This pair is still on the downside. But I have a feeling if they don't spike this low Monday, Tuesday, and rally, then you know this will be the draw on liquidity. But if they spike this low and give something like this, and you know this high, and probably higher is where price may basically come from. But for now, this pair is still tilted to the downside, but we have a lot of liquidity lined up here. So it depends on which they do first. Should they rally, then you know they will come back here within the week. But should they go down here first, then you know that this high and probably anything balanced for that might be the strong liquidity. But if you look at this price, it's at the lower end of its range. So you don't want to be taking a short here. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is GBPCHF. So looking at the GBPCHF, this pair is still very bullish for now. Still very, very bullish for now. Let's look at it from the weekly point of view. Not much here on the weekly setup. Let's look at it from the daily. Well, we have this high here and we have what looks like equal highs here, but this pair is still tilted to the upside. So as long as price stays above 1.1281, that's this level here, you might see price going for here. But you should be careful for something. Should price give this drop, then you know that price is going to do something like this. So that's the scenario we have there. The last but not the least, we have is the pound yen. The pound yen is still tilted slightly to the upside. Let's look at it from the weekly. We have this break above there. It's still tilted. The weekly candle has closed bullish. Let's look at it on the daily. The daily closed with wicks to the upside. Then we have this fair value gap here on the daily, which price has been failing to close above. Then if we move down to the 4-hour time frame, we have this here, and price has not closed above it. So I have a feeling this is the daily range, 1713 to 163.04. So if price goes above here into this area and doesn't take out this high, there's a possibility that we might see a corrective move below this level here. So that's the scenario we are in. Price on the 4 hours within this big range here. So we can't basically say for this until it breaks above either of these levels. So we might see something like this, and price may rally. Or the other hand, we see something like this, and price will move lower. So that's the scenario I'm looking at on pound yen. So for now, I can't take a decision. So I thank everybody for taking your time to watch. If you find the video helpful, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. So I wish everybody a beautiful weekend and a blessed trading week ahead. Thank you all.